Welcome to the Top 10 Garden Show with Ken Lain. Listen to Ken's tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts guaranteed to make your gardens more beautiful than ever this year. Now welcome your host, Ken Lain.
Welcome back to The Mountain Gardener, your host, Ken Lain. I have got a treat for you all. So we're into the season of spring blooming trees. We're famous in the mountains of Arizona for spring blooming trees. And the guy that knows the most, pretty much in this half, in the Southwest, that knows the most about spring blooming trees is Mike Neenan. He's with Schmit Nursery. He's floating through, training our staff, making sure we are up to snuff on the latest, greatest, why this one's better than that one, why you don't want to sell the box store one because this one's so much better. He makes sure we know stuff. And I'm going, Mike, you've got to share that with the audience. I mean, people want to know this stuff. So Mike Neenan with Schmit Nursery, welcome to the Mountain Gardener.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
You have been with us? How long have you been in the industry? So you've been with Schmit probably, for forever, so far I can remember.
No, this is only my fourth year.
Fourth year. Where were you at before that?
So before this, I was working at a wholesale nursery in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Gotcha. The Bay guy.
So Bay guy. So, and I'm not a Bay guy, so I'm more of a country guy. So I've lived
out of here.
Yeah, I had to get out of there. So I've lived in Utah for three plus years.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
How long you been in the industry? How'd you get into this business?
I started back in 1979 working at a Kmart garden shop.
Oh my gosh, you're dating yourself.
Yeah.
You just described this industry. Once we get in,
yeah,
we seem to stick with it and keep going.
Well, because we love it.
Yeah.
We're out, we're dealing with live plants and trees and bushes, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. You never tire and you never learn it all. It's always something new, something more. And so number one tree when you when you started Kmart.
Number one, oh boy. Well, California climate's a lot different. So I'm gonna have to say it was still probably a maple tree.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Acer Rebrum, the old school Midwest maple.
Yeah.
So now we got so many exotic ones.
Probably Autumn Blaze or something like that,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the market's so much different.
What's your favorite tree now out of all the trees you sell? You sell fruit trees, shade.
Well, flowering trees are my favorite. I think crab apples. Probably just because they're so absolutely beautiful in the springtime. And we didn't really sell a ton of crab apples in California.
Yeah.
Like we do in
they wouldn't grow as well in the Bay. Or think up in the mountains, they need cold climate to really bloom well.
Absolutely beautiful. And they have some of them do have fruit on them, and that's okay because in the wintertime, when there's snow on the ground, the birds eat the berries off the trees.
Yeah.
But they're an absolute beautiful tree.
So crab apples. So a lot of folks think of them like their grandparents. Like my grandmother made crab apple jelly, crab apple jam, crab apple.
Yeah.
It's like a miniature apple.
Yeah.
This is not what we're talking about.
This is not what we're talking about.
This is bred or created for its flower because crab apples have a brighter flower, larger flower, most of them double flowers. So they're like showy, just really showy. But they do form a little berry, so most of them, but not an apple, a berry. So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and a lot of them are, they're an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch. There's very few that get much bigger than that.
Yeah.
So it's not obnoxious to have those trees near a sidewalk or something. It's not bad.
I do like watching the robins in the winter. They'll come in and they'll fly. There'll be a flock of them. Land on this crab apple and like they're devouring these berries because there's not much for them to eat in the middle of winter, but crab apples are there. So if you're into birding, crab apples, they're the ones.
Yeah.
So
I think the other ones then are the flowering plums. Those are beautiful.
Yeah.
And they don't get fruit. There are some that get fruit, but we sell primarily the ones that don't fruit, and they're absolutely beautiful.
The better ones, you sell the better ones without fruit. We do have fruiting plums. These are flowering ornamental plums. They're bred for the flower, the foliage, the hardiness without the fruit.
Correct.
Get that right?
Correct.
How do you do that?
Years and years of production, years and years of trying and failing.
Yeah.
And then finally they're crossbred and they figure it out.
So now we've got some new red buds that came in. So you've introduced more red buds. A red buds it's a native tree, flowering tree for here, but you've bred that with other plants. So, and all of a sudden we've got several varieties of very hardy, short trees with a big heart-shaped leaf. How long does it take to find, create, and then get up to production for national supply? What's the average length?
The average time is between 12 and 15 years.
You're kidding me. I had no idea. From I found this new variety or I failed it, and then we created something new, and now we're growing it. So you've got enough production, 12 to 15 years.
15 years. So we just introduced an Acer rubrum red sentinel.
Yes.
That was 15 years.
Wow.
It's the cousin of Armstrong Gold.
Yeah.
Which you've seen that tree many a time.
Yeah.
So yeah, 15 years of hard work and trials. And they actually just showed it to us a year ago. For the first time it was growing out in the field. We had no idea.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a beautiful tree.
Well, you've got that one, I think, planted around your office. Isn't that one that's
Armstrong,
right there?
Yeah.
I thought that was a sentinel.
No, it's brand new.
Oh,
it's brand new.
Make sure we get some of those. The second they're available, I want them, because that's like, if I recall, that's like an autumn blaze maple, only it stays narrower. It's a narrower shade tree, but with the same maple red fall color. It'd be perfect for these smaller yards.
We've never had the red one before. So we've only had the gold or the straight Armstrong.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of years and a lot of work for us to come up with a tree, starting with it could either be a seed in the ground or just a little stick in the ground that you cut off another tree, and then you go from there. That's
amazing.
Yeah. We are very picky about our trees.
So we go through the Schmit farm. So every year we go up to their farms and we hand pick. And it's thousands of acres. How many acres of farms do you guys have? It's ridiculous.
It's 6,000.
6,000 acres. We're driving a van around these acres and acres and acres of trees. We're going, oh, we like that one. Oh my gosh, hold on. And we jump out of the farm. We run to go see them. Oh, I got to have 20 of those. And so Michael will go, okay, here we go. We got it. He goes, you'll want to also see these over here. So he kind of makes sure we get the best of the best. And so that's kind of what that farm, and it's a farm. It's muddy. There's water running. There's sprinkler heads going. There's trucks rolling around, tractors. It's a farm. It's not made for consumers. It's made for the industry to see what they want to bring into the garden center.
It's the most incredible thing anybody will ever see, for sure. Because when you're driving down the roads, you're looking at a row of trees, and they're all exactly the same shape. And the only tree you see is the one on the edge of the road. You have to move up to look down the road to see the rest of the trees.
And some of the ones on the road are kind of dirty, dusty, because the tractors are going by. You kind of go, I'm going further in. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Did you go to look at them?
Yeah.
It's a joy.
Of mine. It's fantastic. So we call those the soldiers. Because they all
they're taking the
it's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh.
So, and there's a lot, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of work that goes into those trees from the time that we start them until the time they get to the retail location, like your store.
That's why some folks I'll mention, they go, oh, the price, I'm not sure about the price. Oh, I'm not, got me think about that, or anything smaller. We don't sell whips. We're only going to sell an established tree that's been formed, that's going to continue growing in the shape till it's even more beautiful. An ugly tree simply gets uglier. A beautiful tree simply gets more beautiful with age. And so that's one place I tell folks on the radio show all the time, make sure you hand pick your trees. Shrubs don't matter so much. Flowers kind of reseed, they come up, but trees, you don't want your landscaper doing that. You want to hand pick those because of that reason.
That's correct. We spend a lot of time and labor pruning our trees to make sure that they're branched equally, and that there is no crazy hooks in the trees or branches. So, I mean, we're known for the amount of labor we spend on these trees is amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, Mike, we are out of time just like that. 10 minutes gone. I appreciate you coming in and just sharing some of that with us.
You bet.
I am amazed how long it takes. I learned something. So I appreciate that. Every time you come in to train our staff, I get smarter, which is great. Thanks for sharing with the audience too. Got Mike Neenan with Schmit Nursery. You've tuned into the Mountain Gardener. We'll be right back right after this. Water's Garden companion plants for March are Oklahoma redbud, mountain heaths, rosemary creeper, Prescott pansies, and fanciful forsythia.
Oklahoma redbud grows to just 16 feet tall. This local native is super easy to grow.
Vibrant red flowers cloak the branches of early spring.
Luscious heart-shaped leaves emerge with a soft pink tinge that matures to a vibrant green.
Shop the brightest blooming trees in-store or online at watersgardencenter.com in Prescott.
You're listening to garden expert Ken Lain. He can be found throughout the week at Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Thanks for tuning in to the Top 10 Garden Show.